Click to go live. Live from my basement, it's Thursday nights! Woo! Hey, welcome to Dave's Imaginations. Let's get over to OBS and switch over. We got our tiny game camera. Go to iMac camera only. There I am. Oh, look, we got the whole crew. If they sit like this, we can use the nice iMac camera. Oh, nuts! Yeah, you're gonna have to move over here. No, sorry, Christian's not there. We can't see Christian, and of course, as always, we have Ken online remotely from
Washington State,
the state of Washington, Greater Seattle, I think.
Greater Seattle area.
Greater Seattle, I like it. Well, no, I don't like it. I wish you were here. Yeah, but I get it. Go where your family is. Hey, live from my basement. It's Thursday night, and we're going back in time. We're going back to the old way. It's like a nice, warm-fitting glove, a soft sock, if you will. We are going back to Dark Queen Ascension, back to 5th edition, and it feels nice. It's familiar. I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. I have resources. Not that Dungeon Crawl Classic was all that bad, but this is familiar. And I like it. And we're going back in time. As we might recall. Once upon a time, we were playing this session of Dark Queen Ascension. The Dark Queen being Tiamat, and our adventures finally had Tiamat. Boo! As Faerun and Salaragine was trying to open a portal to bring Tiamat back into the realm of living, but our adventures thwarted his attempt. But there was a crossroads. At one point. Our adventurers had the choice of either going to the hometown of some of them, of at least one of them, of Fortitude, a town warm and dear to my heart. Fortitude, formerly known and on the maps as Thunder Tree. Way back when, 10 years back, I led a group of adventurers who gained enough money that they bought the rights to the town of Thunder, the ruins of Thunder Tree, and they built that up and they renamed it Fortitude. And so that's where a lot of my heroes make their home base. But
how long have we been doing this now, Dave?
Well, I think 5th edition came out in 2014, I think, and 14 into 15, I played at the store. I played in the store for about a year, and then I started a home, so that's 16. I started playing, and I'm sure I brought Noel into it, and Glenn and his kids, all through high school, grade school through high school, we played, and at some point we brought Christian in.
Because Glenn was talking about it, and he was like, "Oh, hey, we're playing with Dave." And then you and I went to the store a few times.
Yeah, and then we lost a couple people, and you said, "Hey, let's bring in Wes and Ken."
Christian brought me, and I brought Ken.
Right. Yeah. So.
Oh, I thought you picked them up at the store.
Don't know exactly the time when you came. It was before COVID hit.
It's been 5 years?
It could be.
Probably about 4 years since we joined.
Yeah, well, all of COVID and plus some before that. So, yeah. So COVID started in January of March of 20, and we were playing at least a year before that.
And then my kids fell off, and I was kind of like, "Hey, if you need a sub."
Yeah, and the groups merged, and for a while, that's right. For a while, I was alternating Thursdays with different groups. That was a lot. Alternating groups on Thursday and a home game. That was a lot. So we merged those groups, and this was this group. And yes, Fortitude is my home base for a lot of my adventures, near and dear. But it's Symmetrix, a disciple of Zastam, not necessarily Faerun and Salaragine. Do we remember who Zastam is?
I do.
Zastam is alternate to Faerun, the alternate of the dragon cultist. He's the one that believes that the dragons are going to return as undead, and Tiamat would be lord of all that as undead, and he wants all the dragons to become liches, and Symmetrix is a disciple of that, and so they're looking for this Thome of Dragon.
Not that there's anything wrong with liches.
We'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell. And so, since the invasion of the Green Tide, the orcs have invaded northern Sword Coast and on down as the Sword Coast is embattled in war, and we are deep into it. This is so. If we back up from when the battle at the Well of Dragons and the thwarting of the ceremony, in my mind, it was like 3 weeks prior you were in Waterdeep and you had this command, the decision of go save the world or save your hometown. Our heroes saved the world. Go heroes.
It's what we do.
It's what they do.
The needs of the many.
That's right.
Sacrificing their hometown. But the Harpers, they're a big organization. They don't have just this one group of... They've disbanded a group to go save the world. Now can they disband a group to go save Fortitude? And so they put out a call in their town of Waterdeep. They put out a call, and I looked up the names I gave these two. There was Harper's Denabria, and I'm getting ahead of myself. So Denabria, Faz, F-A-E-Z, and Malila are the two Harper leaders in Waterdeep. At least that's what I got in my notes. And they have put out a call in conjunction with the Blackstaff of, not in my notes, Vajra Safar, that sounds... Vajra Safar, the Blackstaff of Waterdeep, in conjunction with the Harpers, have put out a call for heroes to come and save Fortitude. And that is a story we're going to tell this week and the next couple weeks, maybe, unless I come all tonight, and then we'll start over. But so before we get any further, I've got a surprise. This is fun stuff. Fun stuff.
I gotta get closer with this.
All right.
Okay, so we had Dark Queen Ascension, The Fallen.
Yeah.
So
all right.
Now it's
90% stuff I already used, just updated with the new.
No, I'm trying to guess what the
Dark
name is.
Queen
Though.
Ascension
going
or
sideways.
Or else.
Oh, could be. Okay.
Oh, that's a good name.
I'm going with Dark Queen Ascension, The Sideways.
That's
Rewind.
not the name I put. And if you looked at the YouTube, you would already guess what the title I've given
Dark
it.
Queen Ascension Rewind.
Oh, I did. Did you see
I
that
don't
here somewhere?
know.
I'm going to click this button, and we're going to watch our
We're
intro.
gonna find out.
The flames, nice.
Dark Queen Ascension, snakes. Why did it have to be
Yeah,
snakes?
Yeah. I was pretty stoked when I saw that. That was from some video game that I pulled that from.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well done.
So
Well done.
I titled this "The Fate of Fortitude."
No.
Fate of Fortitude, as the fate of Fortitude is in our adventurers' hands. But really, only two of which we're not familiar with. I'm going to go to the corner camera. But don't let me forget to go to the game camera when it comes time. But we have some talking to do. And for those, I can jump over.
Numerous followers.
For the numerous followers that are... I'm looking into the screen. I should be looking up there. For our numerous followers.
3 is numerous.
3 is a number, damn it. Yes, 3 is numerous.
I'll hold them and you
No,
punch.
no, 3 is what watches live. Followers, you've got
3
300.
might tune in live. I'm mildly concerned because my viewership jumped when we started doing Dungeon Crawl Classic. We're going to watch it plummet as we go back to Dungeons and Dragons. I don't care about that. what is it? Corporate stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
we don't either. That's why we've gone return.
that's why we turn. Yeah, we don't care either. I don't give two hoots about what Wizard of the Coast Hasbro is doing. I do give two hoots, but not three. Damn it, not three hoots. Okay. Let's see here. So we have two new characters. So we have the Denabria Fayez, sure, and Malila, and Vajra Safar, the Black Stuff of Waterdeep, have put out notice. Heroes wanted for a quest to Fortitude. And we've had 2 agents answer the call. Agreed? Consider yourself...
Okay.
You didn't remember this at all.
Oh, I did. I just don't know. So if we're Harper's agents, does that carry certain obligations with it?
Well, yeah, some. Well, first of all, you saw the movie.
Yeah. First rule about being a Harper's agent is you don't talk about being a Harper's agent. That's what I remember. No, it was they were.
It's like I don't remember remembering that.
I do twice, and I don't recall that.
Anyway, we're not going to dwell on that too much. There is consequence. They have a whole book on how to be a Harper. I'm exaggerating. They have probably a page, right? And anyway, so the protectors of the realm, kind of people, not necessarily military, more spy-like, mercenaries-ish, but mercenaries carries kind of a chaotic, not necessarily good.
Well-armed militia.
Yeah, so these are like the spies of the militia, and so you are Harper's agent, and the call's been put out, and we have had 2 people respond. And if I go on screen, if I bring up here, that is not one of them. That is not one of them. That is not one of them. That is one of them, and that is the other of them. So we have 2 new characters. We have two new characters. We have Marcel, who...
Darcel.
Yes, it's Darcel.
Your copper top? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I know.
That's going to be my bad all the way through. Yeah, Darcel. You're right. Because...
I just made it up last night, so I'm not married to it.
Because when I typed it, it wants to autocorrect to Daryl.
Yeah.
It doesn't like
A mother brother
Darcel.
Daryl,
Yeah. I would
And in
have
all
to change my
seriousness-
name to Daryl.
And in all seriousness, I'm like, when you, not knowing that it was really supposed to be what he said, when you wrote that, I was like, oh, so he's planning ahead so that if something happens, he can bring in his other brother.
His
Daryl.
other brother Daryl. Maybe if he dies, his other brother Daryl's going to show up.
And another Harper of Uguay. And we are firm in the make stuff up space. What might have you two been, or do you know what you were doing just before and a little bit of the background of Darcel? Anything? I mean, you're a level 13
Ranger.
Beastmaster Ranger.
Yeah. So, I mean, so we were living in this Sword Coast that's occupied by orcs and so on. So maybe he was doing what he could to disrupt their communications. I mean, I'm sort of thinking he spends a lot of time living out in the wild.
Okay.
He's just as happy to sleep outside as in a bed, because that's his stuff is geared toward Beastmaster and nature and that kind of stuff.
Do you have a name? You have a companion.
Yes, he has a companion who is a boar. Who is a boar?
The animal.
Yes. So I thought long and hard and figured his name is Boris.
Boris the boar.
I like it.
Boris
Like it.
the boar. All right. Very nice.
The rule of fun.
That got almost as much thought as his name, as my character's name, but
Boris the Boar. And so Boris the Boar is kind of like your pet dog. It goes wherever you go, and it understands you. It can't necessarily speak with you unless you cast a spell and speak with it, right? I don't know if you have that spell, but as like I imagine it functions like a dog, right?
yeah, follows basic commands. Yeah.
Follows basic commands, and you're a Beastmaster Ranger. Any cool stuff that the Beastmaster Ranger can do?
Yeah, do we want to just over the table now, or save it for?
As much as you want to share.
Okay.
The scribe is listening.
This. Now I got to remember what I gave him. No, I mean, if they met up, well, are we gonna role play them meeting up, or are we just doing this over the table?
Our
now?
group is so good at role playing.
We're experts.
Yeah.
we're trained actors.
So you've met. I imagine you are in a bar in Waterdeep, a known Harper's bar, and you are sitting in the bar, and in walks a turtle folk.
Are we in the track bar?
No, you're not in the track bar.
Okay.
You are in Waterdeep, and you are
right, okay.
We're answering the call. You are contemplating answering the call to this quest, and
okay.
And in walks a turtleoid. What are they called? Turtle.
Okay.
A turtle that maybe you recognize, maybe you don't.
So the flyer said, "Be at this bar at this time," and thus we are. To sign
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
As we're making this up as we go along. So
okay, well, and so maybe we see each other and sort of, you know,
You got your Harper emblem.
yeah, and so we might go give the Harper.
I was hearing
Fist
yourself,
bump or whatever
you
it
describe
was.
yourself and how you're perfectly fine in the woods.
Outdoors,
But,
but he looks surprisingly put together. He doesn't have like twigs in his hair or anything, but
He's well cut.
yeah.
and so, as a wandering cleric spreading the good word of peace, Uguay has frequented the forests around Waterdeep, and he's shared plenty of a meal with you in his travels and your travels, and we frequent the similar circles.
Yeah, so maybe we did bump into each other recently. And just I've been up in the north, just doing whatever I could to disrupt communication and supply lines for the.
have you adventured
For the
together?
occupying.
Is it likely that you adventured together? Took on a quest before?
Here or there, maybe.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe it's been a couple of years, but yeah.
It sounds like you're doing a different thing. That as a wandering cleric, I might be doing more of a healing ministry during this time, going to towns that have been affected on the edge of battle, healing and tending to the sick, and where he's more of a
He's more likely to sit in a tree for 3
Offensive.
days and wait to shoot somebody that
right.
that looks important
so
to the occupying force.
I definitely if I saw him in the bar, I would hesitate to go up to him and sit down and share a meal with him.
And tell us about your character.
So, like I said, Uguay is a wandering cleric. He has the, an easygoing lifestyle. He sees the good in everything. He kind of finds himself in between arguments, settling the peace. He's mitigating and mediating between different parties to see the best of each side and bring them together. That doesn't mean he hasn't been at the end of a quarterstaff hitting someone with it. He also,
Well, they certainly deserved it.
well, defending himself. He's not afraid to do it. He's not a pacifist. So, let's just say that. And he has definitely found himself on the battlefield, curing with one hand and hitting with another. And unfortunately, he's gotten really good at it these days.
So you two are sitting in there, and your contact is off in the corner, a dark corner of this bar, and you recognize Malila, because that's the name I remembered, as a person that's given you jobs in the past, and so you the two of you would approach Malila and say, "Hey, you're answering the call," and she'd sit with me, and so you understand what the mission is. There's one of Zastam's disciples is looking for some sort of artifact, magic item in this town of Fortitude. You might have heard it as Thunder Tree. And so much so that she so covets this, and then she's been there for a while and hasn't found this artifact, that she's called upon. Our spies have told us that she has access to a purple worm. The Grundelsmirch, the general of the Green Tide, has sent a purple worm toward Fortitude, and she is threatening to lay the town to rubble until she finds this artifact. Now, do you know much about purple worms? Do you realize that this is likely a suicide mission?
I don't know about that, but I do know a lot about monstrosities, and I've spent a lot of my time, as monstrosities, beasts, hunting out in the wilds. Those are my specialties, and I've got an old friend or two in Thunder Tree. What's it called now? Fortitude. So
you as a founding
it was a long time ago. I went there. No.
Formally funded.
No, but yeah. So
In a different life.
So I thought I would when I learned of this mission, that my expertise could be useful.
Well, and so I'm just going to read this, right? So she would be sharing with you the information from the monster manual, right? Anything beyond that is stuff you wouldn't know necessarily. So this purple worm, gargantuan, right? They could swallow a horse whole. Okay, burrowing, coming from up from ground. They're gargantuan, right? Huge, terribly tough, armored skin, lot of hit points, super strong. Blind sight, tremor sense. They can sense you walking on the ground. Tunneling. They tunnel faster than most people. Well, as fast as most people walk. It says speed is 50 feet. Burrow is 30 feet. They have. Not only will they swallow you whole, but they'll also gorge you with their tail. So the massive burrowing monster known as the Purple Worm terrorizes the creatures of the Underdark as it chews through the solid rock in pursuit of prey. A dim-witted, ravenous force of nature, this creature regards anything it encounters as food. This is straight out of the monster manual. Right? The ravenous hunter's loud noises attract purple worms, which have been known to interrupt underground battles and tear through subterranean cities seeking prey. Underground civilizations of the Drow, Duergar, and Mindflayers maintain special wards around their settlements to deter these monsters. Though most common in Underdark, purple worms are frequently seen on the surface world in rocky and mountainous lands. A maw of a purple worm is large enough to swallow a horse whole, and no creature is safe from its hunger. It lunges forward by rhythmically compressing and expanding its body, catching over other Underdark dwellers by surprise with its speed of its advance. Boons of the worm. When a purple worm burrows through the ground, it consumes earth and rock, which it breaks down and constantly excretes. Precious metals and gems can thus be found within the bodies of purple worms, which are targeted by particularly brave and foolhardy treasure hunters. A burrowing purple worm constantly creates new tunnels through the Underdark, which are quickly used by other creatures as corridors and highways. Because a purple worm rarely returns to its own tunnels, such passageways are a good place to avoid these monsters. Areas rich in prey quickly become interlaced with complex tunnel systems resulting from several worms hunting together. So, Malila, let's see. I don't know much. I don't know how they command these purple worms, how they can guide them to where they want. But that is the threat that Symmetrix has made that has reached back to us. This is at least 3 weeks prior to the end of our last campaign. So now Malila has arranged with Safar Vajra, the blacks, and she'll say, I can get you to Helm's Hold. Helm's Hold, going back to the map, Helm's Hold is, there is this dot right here is Helm's Hold. This dot is Fortitude. It's half a day's travel. It's not that far. Now, this is deep behind enemy territory. And she'll hand you papers. Here are papers that you should be able to present yourself, forgeries of that should keep you somewhat safe. However, you might want cover stories for why you are behind enemy lines if you're ever confronted. Think about what you would be doing there if you were interrogated by an orc captain. What would you say? When you go to Helm's Hold, this is not held by us. This is held by orcs. The wizard there, dwarven wizard Lidnura. All right, now
Is she still in command? Is she still?
She's still there.
In possession of?
Well, last we knew, she was still had possession of her wizard's tower. My understanding is she's not causing a ruckus. She's not.
We had talked to Lidnura not long before this. Our other group had, I believe, as part of this whole.
Yeah. So I think we'll touch on that when we get to the group in Fortitude.
Yeah.
So a cover story could be worth doing something for her.
So, a healing ministry. I'm healing to the sick, wounded from battle. Going town to town. You're my guide.
Yeah, guide, and it's
You're
not
a
safe to
ranger,
be.
right?
Yeah,
So,
it's not safe to be traveling alone in
Yeah.
Well, who sent you?
Lenora.
Lidnura had requested me to come and heal to the.
And so Malila will say,
sick.
I suggest that you say you work for Grindelsmirch in the Green Tide. Yeah, you as an alter race should fit in. Humans will be looked at with suspicion, immediately questioned, especially if they're out and about without escort.
And you say we should say we're working for.
I'm saying you would cause less attention if you said you were coming to heal the orcs and not the humans.
Oh.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
My healing ministry is for everyone.
And so,
can our papers be in effect to help foster that Grindelsmirch angle?
well, yes. And so, your papers, we can say your job is healer. And we probably wouldn't use the word healer. We might say shaman.
Oh, yeah.
And perhaps you have an acolyte. And let me. She waves a. She says she has new papers drawn up, and they'll say something like, "At the command of Captain Grog of pick a different town, Tribor. Captain Grog of Tribor has sent you saying you are a healer and you're to go to Helmshold and do healing and then work your way north. And so you're on your way to Fortitude to provide your assistance in healing."
Sounds like a good plan.
So you will, and then she will hand you a harper's pin, and it's a special, we'll say, pin with a pair of rubies on it, tiny rubies, and it say, "Give this to Lidnura," and she'll understand that you guys are legit, and you can explain yourself to her when you get there and what your mission is.
Okay.
From there, you will make the half-day journey to Fortitude, and Lidnura should be able to guide you further from there of what to look for, and who to contact, who you might be able to contact, as there is a bit of a freedom force hidden somewhere outside of Fortitude. So your mission is hook up with them, gather whatever support equipment you need, hire whatever mercenaries you need, and
Thwart the purple worm.
Secure the Thome of Dragons, make sure it's safe. Figure out how they're controlling this worm, and cause whatever disruption you can. And lastly, if you can do all that, and if you can also want to try to survive, that might be a good idea too.
One or more of you survive to tell the tale.
So, any questions from you two for Malila?
You said the purple worm has a tail. Is it? It's got like a stinger.
tail, yeah.
I've heard.
Yep.
Is it poisonous? I'm assuming.
I think it's just it will gore you.
This tail stinger, piercing, DC 19 saving throw, or yes, 42 points of damage. Yes, poison damage.
Yikes!
Yeah.
Front end and the back end are both bad news.
Here are some drawings, if you believe them. There's a nice one.
If you dare.
Nice picture of the tail.
What else?
You run up to my desk. I have a model of one. A pretty good model of one.
So, how do we commission these mercenaries? And will you help us get them to Fortitude?
I
Or
imagine
we
you'll
have to get them in Fortitude?
you'll
Helm's Hold.
piece together whatever you can on the way.
Okay. Has anyone else answered the call?
No one else has answered the call.
Sheesh.
And
Times must be tough.
There's a war on.
there are many objectives we need to do. Times are dire. Yeah.
Well, Darcy,
Boom.
no one
Nice.
wants to live forever.
This was 3D printed, painted, flocked by myself.
Most impressive.
One of my more favorite models, for those that can see.
One of the guys at the Makerspace, a local guy who owns a 3D printing business, they're getting a color 3D printer, which could be pretty wild.
So you can put in different multiple filaments and have it.
What's
Not
the,
filaments, I forget the technology, but yeah.
is it a resin or is it filament?
It's not a resin bath. I think it's somewhere in between where it, kind of it uses resin, but it extrudes it with a extruder head.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
isn't making sense to
No,
me. But
no, I don't fully understand it either. So
oh, this is a good spot for it. Over here. Out of the way. All right.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. That was back when I thought I would still use miniatures. Okay.
Every time I make a model in Hero Forge, I'm like,
Should I print it out?
I'd love to have.
The physical.
Yeah.
Yep, that's fun. So yeah, playing with Hero Forge is fun. It's like a character creator in a video game.
And it's getting just better and better.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the only thing is that the weapons are sort of cartoony in their size.
I think
so.
they
It's
do
like
that-
I want a dagger and it's as big as my leg.
I
You
think
know,
they
it's
do
like,
that for printing because
Yeah.
otherwise it would be so small that.
yeah,
My only thing is when I looked at your new character,
yeah.
I thought, oh, it's Ruckus.
What?
He's got dark hair and a goatee.
Yeah, yeah, and the face shape. So that's
Did I pick the same face?
yeah, it's
Well, Ruckus was a dark elf, but maybe
fair. But that's a complaint I have about Hero Forge is the facial shapes aren't varied enough.
Yeah. See that.
But I mean, what do you expect? I mean, you can make it fatter, but still,
Yeah, it's just like I wanted to put a dagger on his hip, but they were all like
yeah.
the size
Looks
of
like a short sword.
yeah. And the short swords were almost as tall as him. Yeah.
So, Uguay and Darcel, when would you like to leave?
First light.
Sure.
And she'll whistle over to the keep. Your rooms and drink are on me. Don't drink too much tonight. You'll want your wits about you in the morning. Any other questions?
So, I guess
Maybe some bribe money? We got plenty of money. We never did talk about that.
yeah, I don't know what
Well,
either you guys have.
generally Harper's don't. This was from the movie, right? They generally don't get paid,
Okay.
but she'll drop a bag of coin, 100 gold pieces. Maybe this will help you on your way.
Just to
Cover your
grease the
expense.
palms.
Well, yeah, cover your
Yeah.
expenses.
Orcs like money
So
too.
I guess you could ask her, are you going to be here in the morning? We could check in just to see if anybody else
Come to
answered
the
the call.
Come to the Black Tower. Anyone else? If we recruit anyone, they're not going to recruit anyone else.
Okay.
Anyone else answers the call, we'll be there in the morning.
Okay. So is that us?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
Scene.
we might. We might just catch up over.
Yeah. Spend
Over
the
a
rest of the
drink.
evening.
You know.
Okay. That's not where I want to be. Meanwhile, back at Fortitude, or rather, more specifically, the Winterstone Temple. This will have a lot of our other characters here as well, as I have not cleared them out necessarily.
The tiger.
Yeah. Mr. Fuzzy Boots.
Mr. Fuzzy Boots is back in action.
So maybe that's... No, let's start with Zerwak. Zerwak. Let's see.
Yes.
How long has this occupation really been? What do you think? 6 months?
I mean,
It is
we were
a-
gone for a year,
You were gone for a year. Yeah.
and it'd been going on for a few months before that.
Yeah.
And a few months after, so probably a year and a half.
Yeah, probably 16 months there's been an occupation. So what do you suppose Zerwak's been doing? So a couple things we know. Right? We have the Wizard Tower in Fortitude, and Zerwak and group had found their way into the sub-level of this, the hidden sub-level of this Wizard Tower, where they found a hidden sub-level to the sub-level, where the Thome of Dragons was in some lava protected room. And so the group decided, this seems pretty safe spot to leave this, and so it was left there. But Symmetrix found her way here looking for the tome. So, Zerwak, you are the caretaker of that Wizard Tower, or so to speak. What has Zerwak been doing for the last year and a half?
Well, I'm assuming he was forced to basically abandon the tower if he's hanging out at the Winterstone Temple.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So I think he spent a good amount of time trying to make the downstairs area more secure, and then make the hidden area even more hidden, because we found it by accident. You know, trying to plug up those holes in the defenses.
Okay.
And then I assume he worked with what's his name? What's the ghost's name?
Oh, right. Yeah, the ghost.
Whatever his name is, because it was his tower originally.
It was Lidnera backwards. So
Yep. Well, wasn't Lidnera his name backwards?
yes, exactly.
I think.
Arendelle.
Arendelle.
Sure. Yeah.
That sounds
Him.
right. Yeah.
I think Zerwak worked with him to get things in better shape than he left things when he died. So and then eventually had to flee. So he's been monitoring things from a distance.
From the Winterstone Temple.
Winterstone Temple, and then has gone on I'm assuming he and Lauren have gone off on a few adventures to gather supplies and, get cool magic items.
Sure. And so there are others to our band that probably are doing other missions, as I pull them off the side, like Drazul, like Zened, like Adric, Strider, and the old... I shouldn't say old. That would be a wrong word to call that one. The previous? And so...
Precursor.
We have Lauren in there. We have Zerwak in there. And we... At some point, some year and a half later, our friends returned from Barovia telling tall tales of vampire quest, and people you hadn't seen in a year finally came back. Maybe you'd given up for dead, but they'd come back nonetheless, and they dropped off a tiger. Mm-hmm. With a nice bauble on its chain. And the owner left it there
To go save the world.
Supposedly. And some months later, right? I believe it had been months later, with all the nautical travel that was done.
Yeah. It'd be tough to go back and count the time.
Months later, 2, 3, 6, whatever. Months later.
That, and it's not like after Todd died, it's not like an immediate.
Yeah.
I think we established that there's some.
Yeah. So.
And I almost feel like Todd would have gone, like Todd's soul, spirit, whatever you want to call it, probably would have gone and like served the traveler for a while. before.
That absolutely makes sense. Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean that time flows in the same speed either.
That's true. Yep. Yep.
And so served this traveler and maybe haunted something for a while. And but let's park that for a second. Let's talk about Lorne.
Sure.
Some year and a half ago, Symmetrix shows up, and not too long after that, a whole frickin' army of orcs show up.
Right.
And you say, if you stay around here, you're going to be thrown in jail or worse. And so you go into hiding.
Right.
And hopefully you can do some missions from hiding and keep your skin.
Right. And so Lorne has, there at the outset, it was about leading the resistance from Fortitude, right, with Winterstone Temple as a base of operations. But given the great expanse, he's been traveling, continuing to raid and snuff out orcs where he can. But, his paladin ways, he's been also healing the wounded villagers and soldiers in the battle, and equally bringing justice to looters and pillagers who are taking advantage of this situation.
Nice.
Those who perhaps were at the fringe of society, who now see this as an opportunity to get the upper hand on all these poor towns that have been beset by the orcs. Not, given his practical experience and fortitude, he's also been providing organization and training to small militias throughout the land, bringing folks together, helping them see that they too can stand up for themselves if they work together. That's what he's been doing. Applying his skills, both healing and justice and leadership.
Use Zarok and some combination of the others, probably.
Indeed.
I like it.
Adric's probably been with him, along with Zerwak
and
some
absolutely
of the others, yep.
Now, through this year and a half, there were some amount of townsfolk that stayed. It's their homes, after all.
Right.
And perhaps begrudgingly provided service to the orcs that occupied
Sure.
each other, and the tavern for one, the blacksmith for another. I imagine the leadership there, Shade Rock, I believe was his name, was still around. His family was still around. So there is some amount of population still in Fortitude. But the security force has been driven out and replaced by a strong, large battalion of orcs, dragon cultists, red wizards, and not to mention Symmetrix herself. After about a year and a half, after about a year plus, the band from Barovia came back, left this tiger, and they went on a mission to try to resolve this orc invasion and this whole dragon thing. And they left this tiger with the group. But some months after they left, now we tell Katota's story. Do we remember how Katota finally died? Do you remember? I legitimately don't remember.
Yeah, so what was Gloin's dragon form name?
Yep. Yeah, Grolgark.
Grolgark. So we had just defeated
The white dragon.
the white dragon, and Grolgark hadn't
Oh,
fulfilled his
Curse.
required curse duties and went insane.
Insane.
Right?
That's right.
And Ta, seeing what was going on and knowing that he couldn't really die, He hoped. Figured that he could save the rest of the group by...
Was that Aviaturus? That was one of the white dragons. I don't remember which one's
I
which.
think it was the one before. I think Arviaturus was the one on the island.
Could have been.
I think I ate him.
What?
Is that what I killed by swimming after it and biting it?
Yes. Yeah, it was that one.
You killed him?
No.
No, the dragon.
The dragon you killed.
Yeah.
Ruckus finished him off by
you were,
swimming after him and-
teleported out.
Oh, that's
and then,
right.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone.
Yeah.
That's right. Somebody teleported me after. The,
kill the dragon.
Teleported.
Because you
Yeah,
weren't
that's
really
something
supposed to
to
kill that dragon.
yeah.
Yeah,
They
the
said
other two got away, didn't they? The other two dragons. Yeah.
Major complaint about the whole Rise of Tiamat is that the adventures fail after fail after fail after fail before they finally get to the end battle. And well, why didn't we just go straight to the Well of Dragons? Yeah, well,
Well, we didn't know about it, right?
yeah, in theory, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So Toph figured, since couldn't really die, that Toph could save the rest of the party by
Sacrificing him.
giving himself up.
Now, he felt confident in doing that because
Of the curse.
of the agreement you had with your dark god.
Yes.
You want to talk about that at all?
So the agreement. So the dark god is the traveler.
Let's save it.
Okay.
You've died, and your spirit ascends to whatever plane of existence the traveler roams, and he takes you on some grand adventure spanning years.
Yeah.
Judging by your character, maybe years. I don't know what you're.
I kind of written a few notes, and that's exactly what I thought. Yeah.
And in this time, Kotata has aged some. Some hairs are much more gray than they were before.
Salt and pepper. I believe after the whole lightning incident, where after he could turn into a plant, wasn't there like a streak?
Yeah,
of, like
that
black
makes
and
sense.
white?
Yeah.
So now, like salt and pepper, like deep salt and peppers.
He does a full Jay Leno, where early Jay Leno had black with a splotch of white. Late Jay Leno was white with a splotch of black.
I was thinking the main female character in the Freddy Krueger movies. Did she just have one white streak? Bride of Frankenstein had two.
Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah, no, in that movie, in the third or fourth, one of her encounters with Freddy, she got a white streak in her hair.
Oh.
You got, if you want to pull up the
Yeah.
Hero Forge, and a white beard.
Ha. It's always that's not her.
Hell.
Come on now.
I saw like one eye of a woman. She's in there somewhere.
There we go.
Oh yeah, nice.
And I don't know how much you guys remember the backstory, but Ta is not a human, right? Ta is a shapeshifter,
Changeling.
So this is the form that Ta has chosen to take, like a deep, like kind of caramel skin color, with this striking like salt and pepper hair and just pure white.
But the eyes never change.
Eyes never change.
Yeah.
So it was that he died, but then.
So we're getting to that. We're
trying to
getting to that.
remember.
So you died. The traveler had you do his bidding.
Mm-hmm.
You're still a disciple. Might be not strong enough word, right?
Cool. Cleric.
Award,
Right.
award
Apprentice ward. Yeah.
of the traveler.
No.
And
I'm curious if you have any thoughts on this, because so under cleric there's, I forget which one it is, but there's basically a chaos order. Whereas I am of the life domain, a healer. So I was wondering if you had any thoughts of how like to.
We can talk.
Yeah, we can talk separately about that.
About that. If you're wanting to make a change there,
I'm not, because I looked at it and yeah,
you can still
but-
be chaotic and be a life cleric.
Right.
Right. It's just the traveler grants you that ability.
Right.
Eventually, he says, "All right, your penance has been paid. You may return to the mortal world, and you use your phylactery, releases your spirit, and your body coalesces in the Winterstone Temple." I'm thinking full on Terminator here when you appear, but I don't know. I mean, would you be butt naked or?
I'm of two minds.
Yeah.
Because the traveler would give Ta a few things at a minimum, right?
Okay.
Because Ta needs the Wand of Soul
Yeah.
entrapment. Ta needs a new holy symbol.
Yep.
And that's what the orb is.
Oh, okay.
Ta's new.
Phylactery, perhaps, or
It could be a phylactery, but I was thinking like a
holy symbol.
yeah, like a holy symbol, like the cleric's spellcasting.
Okay.
Whatever you call
Focus.
it. Focus. There you go. And then I guess those are the main ones.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
You know, clothes
Did-
might be nice.
Yeah. So
So
you have exactly what we see on screen. All right. These are the clothes that you have a staff of some sort.
yeah. So my thought was, yeah, if again, I was of two minds. It could go either way.
Yeah.
It either arrives with like basically nothing but naked, or arrives with, in this case, could arrive with or make an outfit that represents like the traveler's, you know, like a traveler's
I like it.
cleric or
It
something like that.
makes everything a lot easier if
Yeah.
he has that. All right. Did you give yourself any magic items
I don't know.
other than the wand you already have?
The wand, and then I gave myself like basic stuff that would be found in the temple, like a dagger.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that's.
So
yeah.
you arrive, and you awake to the dry tongue of a large cat licking your face. Despite your shapeshift, Mr. Fuzzy Boots can sense who you are. All right, and you wake.
You've ever been licked by a small cat? It's not particularly comfortable.
Exactly.
Right, a little scratchy.
Right.
tongue.
So I mean, this is
Tiger's tongue is.
yeah, it's like
Right.
two hands put together, and it's just licking you. Thankfully, he's not eating you. But the phylactery has been used, right, and probably destroyed, right. When a phylactery is used, I imagine it's you need a new one. And I think that was the only one you had.
Correct.
So it's probably it's probably been months since you reappeared, because the time flows different in the afterworld and the different realms of
Right,
existence.
right,
You spent the years doing your thing, and he put you back just moments soon after you perished. Some amount of time passed, but it might have been days, maybe a month, but it wasn't years, right? The years you've lived, but you've reappeared in the Winterstone Temple with a new facade to the licking of Mr. Fuzzy Boots. You have your staff, you have your wand, you have this new magic item, you have your senses. You have some amount. I mean, that was years ago, so you have the memories of something that's happened years ago. But this is all seems very familiar, like a dream from the long past. But now what? You're laying there. You have this cat, and you know there's people in the next room. You don't really. You do, but you don't look like the old Katota.
Right. I am a stranger that has appeared.
You are a stranger that has appeared, and you hear voices in the next room. It's not exactly. You would be if we take. I've got your token here. And you wake up and you're petting. This room is not necessarily pleasant where the tiger is.
Right.
I mean, there's probably some straw laid out there. There's probably a dead carcass over there that they brought. But this is a wild animal in an enclosed space. Ventilation's not all that great.
This is underground, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not quite sure. Well, you know that you shrank him to get him in here. I believe that's what I remember.
I don't remember the details, but
Sure, we
Sure.
did that.
yeah.
How much did I drink last night?
Yeah.
So that you wake up to that,
But does
and
he have a strong desire to kill everything looking for... what's her name? I was thinking
Princess
Terminator
Yasmin?
appears in a ball and
Oh,
naked.
Oh.
I was thinking,
Where's Sarah
no,
Connor?
no, honey, I'm tired.
Yeah, right.
so you make your way out,
Um.
or what's Katota's next move? How do we reintroduce you to those hidden in the Winterstone Temple?
I'm trying to remember, all the details. How long did... Well, and that's fair, because same thing. I don't remember everything, but Katota's not going to remember everything, because
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
been years, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, Ta's going to have to, right?
Yeah.
No.
So
yeah.
you have the opportunity. You're a changeling still. You could. This is your default form now, but you don't have to stay your default form.
That's true.
However, your clothes wouldn't change.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, you could,
Nice.
and then introduce yourself as the old Katota that they might remember, or the previous Katota, and then transform yourself back and say, "Guys, I've been on an adventure, and this is my new appearance." How would you like to handle this?
As a change, so many of the changelings don't like to just reveal themselves as a changeling in front of everybody because it freaks
Yeah.
people out.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's a good question. I'd kind of thought about this, but clearly not.
How different is your
detailed
voice?
enough. I figure it would be deeper. Yeah.
Mm.
I feel like a deeper voice fits in with.
Mm-hmm. It does. More mature, deeper voice.
Yeah, more commanding. You
Sure.
know.
But you're still the chaotic Katota.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought I gave these guys names. Whatever.
Thing 1, thing 2.
I don't remember. I barely remember. I feel like Katota would rely on his strong charisma.
Okay. Just play by ear.
Play by ear.
So we make our way out. Would you like to bring Mr. Fuzzy Boots with you?
Yes.
So you unchain him.
Would hold on to the
Yeah, okay. You unchain him from the wall. You carry the
Yeah.
chain as a leash, more or less.
one hand on to show that like
Yeah. He's
Mr. Fuzzy Boots clearly knows me.
Or he leads you out. Right? And you hear the voices coming from the other room. The door opens. and there's like, Mr. Fuzzy Boots, what? How'd you get loose? And Dad kind of runs up to the side and to give him a little rub behind the ear. And
Oh boy.
Yeah, right.
following him is this old man. And he goes, Lorne Zerwak?
Lorne snaps out his sword, brandishes his shield. Who are you and what are you doing here? How'd you get in here?
You don't recognize me? I know it's been a few years.
A few years.
Not for them.
Not for them, but
Yeah. It's
yeah.
been.
It's,
No, I can't say that I have. You'll have to do better than that.
Well, I'm Ta. I was here. I brought Mr. Fuzzy Boots here.
Yes, I see that.
And Dag crawls up on the back of the tiger, kind of walks across his back, kind of up to where you are next to you, and he starts pulling your kind of Peter Pan way.
Yeah. There you are.
Zerok, what are you doing?
Zerwak has his staff pointed threateningly at the stranger.
Indeed.
And Ta's
Prove
just standing there, like with the self-assurance, but like completely at ease.
And he just challenged you. He said, "Prove it."
Prove it. Well, what would you like me to do? to prove it?
Dag walks up to the head of Mr. Fuzzy Boot and kind of like some 3-year-old with a dog lifts his leg. Why are you attacking this guy, Mr. Fuzzy Boots? And the tiger reaches around with his tongue and kind of slaps Dag. Oh, come
I
on!
was waiting for that. I figure Mr. Fuzzy Boots' tongue is probably the same size as Dag.
Oh, Mr. Fuzzy Boots!
Yeah, well, you could just as easily be someone who's good with animals or controlling animals. I'm not convinced.
Who
yet.
were your companions when you left?
And he would rattle off.
So as you're talking to him,
Drinka?
as you're talking to him, you feel something up on your side. Your wand is being pulled from its compartment.
Excuse me?
And he rolled a 3. That's about as bad as he could roll.
Can you roll that low?
He can roll that low.
He can roll that low,
Well, I
but
figure
his base is like 12.
Right.
So the
you
minimum
rolled a 3. Okay, yeah, fair.
So I mean he's saying, it's like, guys, does this look familiar to you? As he says, as he looks at this wand. I don't know if they would have ever seen it. So Dag is just
I don't know.
yeah. Dag has just pulled the wand, and maybe how do you react?
Would very calmly just go and like grab the wand like that. That was a gift from the traveler.
The traveler? Who's the traveler?
Indeed.
The traveler is. Well, he's a full god, right?
I think in the pantheon of gods,
Yeah.
he's actually part of the lower set of gods. So the dark gods are the one that give you the power that put you in contact with the traveler. So I don't see the traveler as one that gave you this ability directly, because the dark with the eyes, the vampira, right? See.
He's an evil curse broker.
More or less.
I just get 10%.
I put you in contact with. No.
Yeah.
But you could,
You might be.
yeah. But you could also, that could also be a good story to tell. We were all at the temple. We were all
Well,
bargained with these
I don't think any of us are like going around trumpeting like, oh yeah, we made pacts with.
Wait, you were there, and you were there,
Yeah.
and you were there.
Well,
This one guy turned into a shark. This other guy, you went and fought a big goat.
Well, Lord wasn't there. That would have been Strider.
Oh, that was Strider.
Yeah, there's
okay.
no one here.
Hence,
Okay,
Lord's like,
I'm getting my people mixed up.
That's easy to do.
So he would say, the traveler is an ancient god. He's the sovereign of chaos and change, and the giver of gifts.
yeah, chaos and change isn't what we need right now. There's a war on.
Well, do you want to stay like this underground forever? Or do you want change for the better? Chaos can go both ways. It's not always bad.
Don't know what else. Something to go on. Every time he rolls, you just lost something. You know that. You don't know what it is, but you know it.
Yeah, when the
He does.
when the DM's rolling dice without talking, that's a bad
So you
sign.
know nothing about this one.
It was like a 40.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't care what your perception is necessarily. You have no idea what just happened to you. As you're talking.
Yeah, so what did Dag steal?
You just took your wand back. He certainly hasn't stolen anything.
It's classic. It's classic thieves.
Classic.
Thieves
Yeah.
tactic. Give you something back and steal something
Yeah.
at the same time.
Good thing is I don't have a whole lot to steal at the moment.
Your clothes are gone.
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah, Emperor's new clothes.
Sorry.
All right, well, if I'm not so sure that I'm convinced yet, but the tiger hasn't eaten you, so that's at least saying something. And certainly, you're not an orc. At least you don't look like one. So hopefully that automatically puts you on our camp.
You introduce yourself?
Yeah, he did at the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
So
no,
you said you're Katota. You know the name Katota. You remember a person Katota.
Doesn't look like that.
And he left us a freaking tiger.
Yeah. And so, yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, that probably irked you a little bit that they left you a tiger.
Right. And Tao would also say, I know I don't look like I did when I was here last, but I've been on a long journey.
What happened to everyone else? Where are they at? As he's holding your magic symbol. How's this work?
There's only two things you can steal other than my clothes. So
He just bites down on it.
It's a ball.
you would
What?
snatch it out of the
Aw. What happened to the rest of the gang?
I presume they haven't come back yet? They must still be on their adventure.
Oh, why'd you leave them?
I didn't have much choice.
You have a story to tell? I like stories.
Maybe another day. It's
Maybe, but
it's a long story.
I'm so bored in this temple. I could really use a new story. Okay, I'm gonna hold you to that.
Very well. Do you have any food?
Yes, certainly.
Certainly.
I've been mostly dead all day.
Nice. Certainly. If you're going to serve in the resistance, then you need to be fortified, so help yourself.
You're gonna serve in the resistance with us?
I'll do what I can to help.
Awesome.
It's now a rebellion.
Now that
It
I'm
has been.
No, you were right.
We
So,
could use more, though.
well, and you have more, right? They're just off on other missions, right?
Well, right. I'm trying to play into the whole
Yeah,
could always use.
where our harpers show up.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, you've appeared, and you've joined this hidden band of rebels,
Fighters, yeah.
freedom fighters, doing covert ops, trying not to be discovered, yet thwarting some of their plans, doing missions here and there. It's been months you've come back and it's been months, and in that month's time period, you've probably tried to put together a new phylactery.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and so think about that, and would you have brought it back here or hidden it somewhere else?
Yeah, I'll think about that.
Yeah, and so we'll say you've done that.
Okay.
Is there anything else you would, in those months, nebulous amount of time that you've been back, because I don't know exactly what it's been, right? Anything else that you would think that Tota would certainly would be doing in that time?
We'd need new armor.
Okay. Yeah. So in that amount of time, one of your missions was to find you new armor, whether that was ambushing some orcs or armory or...
When we got back from Barovia, in the final battle, Ta had found a chest with 10,000 gold pieces in it, and Ta had hidden it near the Winterstone Temple rather than taking it with him. So...
I mean, who's going to carry 10,000 gold?
Right.
Matter of fact, we talked about that, right? That you wouldn't do that.
Right, at the time we didn't have a ship so Ta has this 10,000 gold. We can, I don't know if there's a lot of trade going on, but not a whole lot of stores open with,
Oh, none.
Right.
Right? And
So-
and
What kind of armor do you need? Certainly, in the midst of squashing these looters and pillagers, I'm sure I came up with something. What do you need?
That's a good point. So Ta would want the best armor he can get that's available.
what can he wear?
Yeah.
Being a cleric can wear anything.
All right.
But I don't want a full suit of armor.
Sure.
But something that'll fit
Half
under
plate?
like robes. I'm thinking.
Okay. We'll figure out what you want.
so-
and
Yeah, odds favor. I've probably. I mean, I think it's not unreasonable that Lauren would have either had access to somebody's chainmail shirt, hide, leathers.
I think that's what I had
splint,
before was a chain shirt.
something along those lines.
if that's what you want, you can find
'Cause
it.
I think also chain shirt is the highest armor you can have before it starts affecting your stealth.
All right.
And
Go for it.
stealth is nice.
Yeah, chain shirt.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. Anything else that you might have wanted to do in those months after you came back? Seems like that seems like a pretty good amount.
Yeah, right.
That phylactery itself takes time to do.
Sure.
Yeah, because the ritual alone was like 2 weeks, but just making the phylactery would be a whole process.
That's right. And you probably use some of your gold to do that.
Probably. We can figure out.
Yeah. Look at the requirements of how that does and figure out, and we can tell that story offline. Months have passed, and Symmetrix has become more and more agitated with the town and the townsfolk as she is a fairly powerful wizard and has not yet found this tome. It's not only is she frustrated because she wants it, but it's frustrated because it's embarrassing, right? She is reporting, and there are demands on her to do other things, and she is dedicated to this resolve, and it's proving pointless. And her leadership is saying, "Hey, we could use your talents otherwhere," and so she is ramped up. At one point, she used a carrot, 1,000 gold piece reward for information leading to and no one came forward. She used her wiles, right? Charming people, and still no one knew of this tome. She used her detect magic, and although there is a magic aura about this wizard's tower, there was nothing there that she could find that would lead to this tome. But she's convinced it's there. And so she made this deal with Grunelsmurch, and that he would send this purple worm. And one day, a post was put on many of the buildings that a 10-day and be gone or suffer the consequences, as the town is. She warns the townfolk, and anyone that didn't flee was rounded up and taken north a half day's walk to McDougal's quarry. I think that's exaggeration. I think it's more like an hour's walk.
Yeah, it was,
Hour's walk. So it's only if we remember our map,
Fortitude geography.
our Fortitude geography, that a mile north was the river with a mill,
Right.
and then a couple miles north of that was this quarry.
Right.
Right, and so this quarry is where they've taken the remaining townsfolk and put them in, loosely called, a jail. A safe place for them, in theory. Some amount of freedom, but not really. It's not like they're letting them leave, right? And there's some amount of protection there. There's some amount of I've got it in
Shelter.
for.
And there were some caves and tunnels.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got a map for it. So I'm gonna activate McDougal's query. And so I threw some townfolk in there, and I threw a couple tents and some orcs.
So that's a lot.
sounds like our first rebel mission.
Yeah.
All right, so one day Dag runs in there with others. Have you seen this, Lauren? What's this mean?
Sounds like trouble.
What isn't trouble these days?
Indeed. Well, we got to do something. 10 days and out. Has the 10 day is
So he runs in, and this it says it's going to be here in a 10-day.
and I'm trying to clarify, is that 10 days from
From when he's showing it, he certainly found this on the first day it was posted.
Yeah.
Can they really bring a? Well, they don't say what it's going to do. They're going to level the town. They're going to start destroying buildings. They wouldn't destroy the track bar, would they?
They might. They have no care. No care at all. We're going to have to do something. We need help.
Maybe we should, Zarok. Maybe you should contact your friend in Helm's Hold. And
Yeah, we could do that.
that's how
Seems like
voice gets out.
And you said that now there's like Fortitude is heavily occupied by lots of folks, right? The orc horde, wizards, and all that stuff you said, right?
Yeah, lots of folk.
Right.
There's band there. There's band there.
Yeah.
And
Freaking surrounded is what we are.
they're taking people to the quarry.
Well, we might be able to make
But they're probably safer there if they're going to level the town.
true. But they're still not as safe as being free. I mean, even if we have to cast them to the four winds, they're better off than being held captive. Grinds my armor. Well,
Zarok, is there anything you can do?
Oh. We need to scout the situation. But we should definitely get them out of there. If the town's going to be leveled, the town's going to be leveled. But it's bad news for everyone to be rounded up.
Yeah. Well, I'm afraid they're already to the quarry.
Right? We got to get them out.
Yeah, but then what?
And they run.
Run where?
Anywhere but here.
It's not a foolproof plan.
I mean, we can't have the whole town down here in our... They would figure out where we're at.
Well, it's only half the town, first of all.
Oh, fair.
Remember, the other half's already... Wait, right? Isn't the other half in slavery or something?
Well...
No, he said they either flee or they're rounded up. So some may have fled.
Some might have left, yes, when they saw this and said, fine, I'm out of here.
Right.
But that doesn't mean they're safe, because they're
Right.
well behind enemy lines.
Right.
The rest of them, now, if we remember in the initial occupation, some fought, some died, some were captured, some killed, some put in
Right.
jail, probably some sort of camp, but that's not this camp.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just remembering back to... I feel like when we first arrived in Fortitude after Barovia, that one of our options was to go after some town folks that had been put into slavery.
Yeah, yeah. Some of those slaves were headed for Waterdeep and whatever the name of that town is next to the Well of Dragons.
Right.
I'm sure they had a good time.
Had might be the word.
We'll have a good time.
Will have had. Level the town.
All right.
I cannot
If
stand
rescuing them is a good idea, then we need to stop Symmetrix once and for all, and make them not care about this town anymore.
Can you make a Thome of Dragons that she can just have? Maybe a fake one?
I'm pretty sure she would know. This is a very specific book.
Oh, well. You're a dragonologist. Can you order one from your library?
Right, it's a very specific book. As in, it's one of a kind. Like, there may be copies of it, but there's only one that actually does what this one does.
I imagine by now you've set up some sort of... Well, there's a bit of fear of using magic, right? Because there's magic sensors. So, Symmetrix isn't by herself. She has some number of red wizards with her. And I guess this might be as good a time to show us our Symmetrix.
Yikes.
Good thing Ruckus isn't with us.
Hey, howdy, hey.
He switched sides, I think.
Her skin kind of looks like shark skin.
Hello, nurse.
Nurse Shark.
Nurse shark. Do, 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 do. They'll make baby sharks do, 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 do.
Let's make sharks. Come on. Okay. Where was I? This is Symmetrix. Oh, she has red wizards, and those red wizards are constantly scanning the area with their detect magic spells, and so Winterstone Temple's a couple miles outside of town, but
And underground.
enough that you're leery of using too much magic. You would hate for a troop to be passing by and happen to discover it.
After, probably a few months, whenever, that level of trust is built between Lauren and Ta would tell Lauren about his, let's call them infiltration abilities. Abilities to go undetected, to blend in.
What do you mean?
I don't know if Dag would be there.
Savoir-faire is everywhere.
Well, we definitely need to know. We need to know more. We need to know more about what's coming in 10 days. I mean, I mean, they made it clear what they're going to do, but how?
I could go ask her.
No.
Go over well.
No. I'm not going to put you at risk like that.
All right, what could they bring in to destroy an entire town? One, she's a powerful wizard. She could probably just do it herself. So nothing.
Yeah.
Or two, she's a powerful wizard, so she could bring in whatever she wants.
Well,
So she doesn't have to do it herself. That narrows it down.
what about that strange horn we keep hearing?
Telling me there was a touchdown? Oh,
If you're in Minnesota, yeah.
Maybe to control something.
Well, Zerwak, what? I mean, level is level. I mean, if they level the tower, is your stuff at risk, or do you feel like the sub-levels are deep enough and protected enough that even flattening the tower won't cause trouble? I mean...
50-50 chance.
Oof. Don't like those odds.
It's it is deep, and it's just they already know about the main level. They just can't get to it, maybe. But the level under that, I mean,
They haven't figured out the super secure password to get into the sub level.
Oh, they have. Oh, okay.
They probably don't even.
So
they don't even know that they need there's one to do, right? You remember the super secure password?
I don't remember what it was.
It's an open
but-
sesame.
It was Open Sesame. But it was in Dwarven, so.
You're still streaming your corner camera if you care.
Oh, my game camera. I've been throwing stuff up on screen. They haven't been seeing it.
Oh yeah. Hey Dave, switch back to your game camera.
Yeah, it's okay. There hasn't been a lot.
That's very much.
Did someone ping you?
No, I looked
No.
at it. I'm one of your viewers.
But
this
you
week.
told us to remind you like an hour ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. We haven't been doing a lot. It hasn't been very critical. Let's see here. Where am I going? Google screen right here.
No critical roles.
Not so much. So how are you gonna figure out exactly what they're doing?
Well, if
Um,
so, we can have between.
Are you guys in this down under here? Or where are you?
So this is
Temple.
This is
yeah. Okay.
That's not that.
where we have some dragon cultists. We have a acolyte, and there's Symmetrix, and she has her own little pet.
Ta would turn to Dag and say to Dag, do you think you could get some dragon cultist robes?
You mean like these?
Does he already have some?
Yes, he can.
Well, then I can go spy on them.
They don't fit me very well, though.
Well, I'll need them.
Oh, yeah, you can have them.
All right. Yeah, beggars can't be choosers. We need the information, so appreciate your willingness to put yourself in harm's way to get that information for us, so we know what's coming. We know when. Be good to have a sense of what.
So you put on the robes,
Put on the robes.
and you go find Symmetrix camp,
Yes.
and you try to blend in with the dragon cultists.
Yes.
I'd like to send my familiar to trail him at a distance because Zerwalk's still suspicious.
Once Ta was outside of, outside of where he feels like he's outside of the lair, not lair,
Winterstone
the
Temple.
Winterstone Temple kind
Hideout.
of area, hideout area, would, shapeshift,
Yeah. Into a more common human with less identifying features,
right,
perhaps.
let's identify
Fits
features.
the outfit a little bit better.
Yeah, I imagine in my mind the dragon cultists are like tall and thin, so would try to fit
Emulate that somewhat.
yeah what Ta imagines they look like.
Well,
And Ta's been around and probably seen.
your rough appearance is fine enough to get through the orc battalion that's on the path that comes into the town. I envision the Winterstone Temple somewhere to the what was that, east of the town, so 2 miles ish east toward the wood.
In the woods, yeah.
In the woods.
Yeah.
All right. So the woods aren't that far anyway, and so as you come into town from the east, they have a fair amount of orcs that patrol guard that entrance, but in your as you come up and it's the orc, why are you out by yourself?
Who are you to question me?
Boss Lake charged us with keeping you stupid cultists safe.
Well, I just got here in town today.
Where's your papers?
Papers? I don't need no papers. Well, I don't need any papers.
What's your name? Who do you report to?
And you would make up a name.
Yeah. Well, you would know the name, and so give me a charisma check. Don't suck.
Okay. I also get advantage because I'm trying to pass myself off as a different person.
Well, okay.
Would you like deception?
Sure.
Oh, a bullshit check.
Yeah, well, I think this is going to be pretty easy for you.
Nat 20 plus 8.
Oh, yeah. This
Some
is
would say overkill.
a deception.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Save it for the battle.
you see, as you're talking, as you were approaching,
said,
you did
"Oh,
see
fuck," he said.
a couple cultists kind of up here somewhere, which really made you hone your appearance before you even got to them. And so you look the part, right? You got the name right. It says, next time you go out, make sure you take some of our guards with you.
I will keep that in mind.
And it says, well, go on about your business then. So you made it into town. And
You don't need to see.
Dag has been in town a number of times,
Yeah.
and he's told you where they are. And
Yeah, 'cause I don't think Todd's ever actually been to town before.
oh,
So I'm sure Dag would have like drawn out like
Oh,
a,
yeah.
a map. And
Sure.
Here's where the tower is, and here's his favorite hidey hole, and
Yeah.
a lot of probably useless information.
Yeah.
you know.
yeah,
I saw a cool bird right here.
Right, here's a really cool tree over here. And,
yeah. So my hiding hole is the one with 2 knots here and there. You just give them a slight twist, and the door opens. You can go. You can hide out in there if you have to, but please don't let anyone else. Yeah.
And if you were half as tall as you are.
right,
It might be a little tight for you, though. Yeah. All right. So he tells you that most of the wizards are making camp or are staying at the wizard tower. So, it's not like you walk up and she's just talking. It's going to take some time before she divulges any type of information, or unless she's encouraged somehow, or there's a reason to. So, how do you plan to get this information? Encourage her to talk about it, if at all. Are you going? So you know she's in this building. You know she's not alone. Now what?
I forgot the plan. Could you tell it all to me again?
I think we should have probably come up with a plan above the table before we got this far.
Go on.
You turn into a plant in the corner.
That's not a bad idea.
Hate plants, burn it.
Where'd that come from? You put that there?
Trying to look through my spell list and see if there's any that might.
So I'm gonna put you in the cover of the woods here, just outside.
So Todd gets into town and then he starts thinking, okay, now what am I gonna do?
What'd you get
You're
yourself
trying to-
into?
What do I get
You
myself
tried to
into?
blend in as one of the cultists?
I have successfully
Well,
so
you've done that
far
at least
blended
Okay.
I'll work on it.
as
Well,
one of the cultists.
yeah, you're not amongst the cultists. You successfully passed yourself off as a cultist with the orc guard. Now, in all fairness, orcs are not the brightest things.
Right. So, while he's thinking, is there something we can do to get these fellows back in the...
Well, so part of this is he has to get this information so that Zurok can tell the Nura, can tell
Okay.
Vajra Safar.
That's all right.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to...
Yeah,
We've gone back in time again.
yeah. Going back a bit further.
Yeah, I guess what Todd is thinking right now is, it's one thing to bullshit some
Orcs.
orc guards.
Mhm.
It's gonna be something else to
Roll into the tower.
roll
Well-
into the tower.
Hey, I'm one of you guys.
Right.
If you get one of them alone, you could replace him, right? You could make yourself look like him.
Body snatchers.
Good. Yeah, actually.
So just wait for one of them to come use the outhouse.
What do you mean? We've always been robots.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
One wanders out the back door and starts watering some plants.
Sleep.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Put them on it.
Known spells. All right. Let's see. What do I have that can?
Subdue this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vulcan.
Let's do that.
No, it's over here. You're doing it wrong.
Oh, that's it.
Boom.
Now you got. I think that's what he said.
Because I don't have sleep, and some of the other ones are like a willing creature. And it's like, oh,
It's really tempting to have Dag behind him go, how many do you think are in there?
I also don't want to start a battle here because,
Yeah.
probably wouldn't win.
One yelp and there could be a bunch of them running out.
Yeah.
Two yelps and there could be a whole orc army on top of you.
Now I do have silence. There's that one. So I could use. Well, I do have sleep. Oh, that's sorcerer. I can't learn that. Yeah, no, cleric. I do have silence. Wherever it is.
Blunt force trauma to the head always works. Yeah, like a
Well,
mace.
if I can make it silent.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so we will go back to Uguay
might as well,
and Darcel. You've come. You've. It's the next morning. You go to the Blackstaff. There's no one else there. Vajra Safar says, well, I was hoping for more, but hopefully you can find help there. And says, come with me. And she takes you into a teleportation circle. And you've given something for Lidnora to recognize you, yes?
With the 2 rubies.
Yep. And she says, very well. And she does her oogity boogity. The portal opens up. A window into nothingness, and on the other side is the other side of the door is another dark space lit by torchlight sconces. And you step through. You step through, and with that, I'm sure there's been that Lidnura has all sorts of alarms on there, and comes running down and looks at the two. It's just the two of you then? And Vajra sent you?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. And she tucks it in a pouch. So, you've come to help poor Fortitude.
Yes.
Well, very well.
So sorry, she teleported us to
Helm's Hold.
Okay.
It's just you just follow the road straight north, and then the road will tee, and you'll head east from there, and you'll be in town. If you want to stay on the path, otherwise you can go north by northeast, and you'll find your way there through country. But you know we are heavily occupied, as I'm sure you've been warned.
Yes.
Yes.
What is that situation?
Well, we've got a strong force of orcs here in our Helm's Hold, which you'll see that we are a fortified city. Unlike Fortitude, we have a wall, but still we are occupied. Any human, and he looks at I'm sorry, I'm Lidnor. You introduce yourselves, like you, Darsa. You will be confronted.
Yes, but I'm comfortable making my way through the back country. And
You have to get out of town first.
we're gonna be confronted even just moving around town.
We are in a walled city.
That's occupied.
It's occupied.
And Acolyte. And we're going to treat the orcs who have been gravely wounded.
Oh, that's a good start. They have an infirmary set up over there, but still, they won't take kindly to a human. So just be warned. So, do you need any provisions? Do you need anything?
I might give her a list of medicines and things that I could use to heal. I would have plenty of supplies.
You've gathered that
Yeah.
before you even came. You have your healer's kit, and that's well stocked, a variety of herbs and bandages. And why don't you give yourself? Let's see here. Why don't you give yourself? We'll say 4 regular healing potions. 2 better ones, whatever the one up is from that, and something that would remove a curse.
Okay.
So specifically, they won't like humans, but turtle, lizard folks, gnomes.
They're met with much less suspicion. Kind of like if you met an orc in the middle of Waterdeep, how would you feel? How would they be confronted? I imagine even their half-brothers are not very well received.
Okay, well, I think I've got a way to deal with it.
Okay.
We'll be all right.
Well, like I said, it's over there. And you've got the directions, and now to get out the gate, they let people go in and out during the day, but if you're here after night, the gate's closed and you won't be able to leave.
Okay. Orcs are generally bigger than humans, or the same
Medium
same
size.
Okay.
So they're all medium size.
Okay.
So you leave her wizard tower, and you make your way. What do? She pointed out that there's the infirmary, there's the gate, there's the road that takes you to Fortitude. There, you go that way to get that way.
Okay. We'll go to the infirmary,
Make an appearance.
and then make our way to the gate with an assignment to go to Fortitude to heal some injured. A wall caved in, and they need help healing a mass of orcs.
Yeah. So when we have a moment alone, I'll say something about I mentioned last night that I've learned a few new tricks since we last were together. So one of them is this, and his face and his hands change and look like, and he
Teeth goes all
takes on
crooked
the
and
appearance of an orc.
tucks.
This is an illusion, but it will last long enough to get us to Fortitude.
Now, in reality, did you?
Well, I was
do
just
that.
going to do an insight check
Okay.
to see if it looks so real.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go back to my character skills, right? Insight.
I'm gonna make this really hard though. I'm gonna set the DC at 18. If you're relying on perception.
26.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean,
So-
he can do some magic anyway, but
It is an amazing.
So
thing.
he puts his hand on your shoulder and it kind of sinks down a little bit. Or no, it doesn't sink down.
it doesn't.
It doesn't sink down a
With
little bit.
knowing eyes, I just say, that is an amazing thing.
it
And,
is not something I share with most.
yeah.
But
There's a lot of
I
different
have-
magic in the world. It wouldn't necessarily have to be a changeling.
Right, no, I'm just saying.
no, but yeah.
That's not the whole truth. You didn't just learn something.
Yeah.
And if it was an illusion, his hand would have
Yeah.
gone through it. So anyway, we've
But as a friend,
we have
Don't push it.
Yeah,
forged
I don't want to push it.
we have forged in battle before. I trust you. This is not something I
Discretion.
shared lightly.
You have my complete discretion. So the plan is to go to the infirmary. Now you're an orc, so you can be an escort,
Yeah.
and you're taking me to Fortitude.
Yep.
You can lead it now. Which
You
makes
even
me
want to go to the
feel even
infirmary or just blow that off? Do we need to?
better. Well, it wouldn't hurt to at least be coming from the infirmary towards the
Okay.
gate
Okay.
to sell
Plausible
the.
deniability.
Yep.
At least you've made an appearance.
Not coming from the Nuras straight to the
Yeah.
gate,
Okay.
in case there is some smart work. I know that's an oxymoron.
Yeah. So you come up to the infirmary, and within the town. There's no guards. Right. This is orc occupied. There's humans, but they're very much in servitude. They're, like I said, especially the serving ones, the ones that provide food, the one that provides services, the carpenter, the blacksmith, the people running the tavern, right? They're humans here, but they are in servitude. You come up to the infirmary, which is probably some building that's been ransacked and gutted, and they have cots set up. And you come in, and there's probably some field medic that's been doing the best he can do. And oh no, Mr. Bill. Oh,
I felt one hit my foot.
did you? Made it all the way across, huh? Go ahead. So you go in there, and there's a dozen or more wounded orc kind, right? Orcs, goblins, bugbears, and with makeshift bandages, and you see and let's see, let's call it a bugbear. You see a bugbear running around, tending to one guy after another, and the guy is just frazzled. What do you do?
He's not hurt. He's just trying to heal him.
He is changing bandages.
So, I will come up and say, I'm just passing through, but it seems like you could use a hand.
These guys, I don't know if they're going to be saved or not. As he ties a bandage on, he pulls one off and throws it off to the side and rips off another strip of cloth and pours some sort of thing on. The orc is just does a little grimace as this alcohol, if it were, was poured over the wound, and he cinches it tight. This one will be okay. Once his arm straightens out, he'll be able to go back into battle. But that guy over there, I don't think he's got much time left. His wound was pretty deep.
Let me see if I can help. And I will. I'm gonna cast Mass Healing Word and try to heal as many people as I can, and hopefully give them a hand. So
You cast it.
yeah,
You cast it, and it goes off, and it heals. People. What gods do you serve that you can do such miracles?
not as powerful as your orc gods, but they have blessed me.
You'll have to teach me your prayers.
I'll be passing through here again, I'm sure. But for now, I think that has helped.
What's your name?
My name is Ugwai.
Ugwe. You're welcome here at any time.
Ugwai.
Ugwai.
Ugwai. Okay, I'll leave it at the third time.
I'm gonna have to rewatch the movie. So, for those that don't know, apparently this is from Kung Fu Panda.
The character's name is from, but I was thinking of a different
Scene,
yeah,
different movie.
yeah. Or he just keeps correcting the name.
I was thinking, don't feed him after midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Mogwai. Mogwai. Yeah. So, and then with that, I'll gesture to
Yeah, but
Darcel,
you,
whose name is whose orc name is
Dargub.
Dargum.
Dargub. Write that down. I'm not going to remember that. Dargub. And as you leave, half of the people that weren't able to sit before, half of the people there that were down and out, kind of sit up and look over at you and say, "Who's that? Who's that? That Toril? There's a Toril healing." And so you just have half a dozen orcs that know your face.
Okay. Good.
And you make your way out of town, and where do you go? Do you take
to the gate, and then we go through the gate.
Go through the gate.
Head towards Fortitude.
Head toward Fortitude. On the road,
Yeah.
are you going to cut across?
Well, I've got
Yeah,
got an escort.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Well, we didn't talk about. So let's backtrack. Going back. Lidnura gives you a stone, a sending stone,
Okay.
and it says, "You'll be able to contact me through this."
Okay.
And if you go east of Fortitude, due east of Fortitude, into the woods. I assume that Nura would know where your temple is by now.
I would imagine.
And Ken, what do you think? Do you think they've set up in this time? They've in these year where they've done this alignment. I would think that Nura has and Zurwak have set up a way to communicate with each other.
Oh, I'd imagine so.
So,
Because I mean, they had a pair of sending stones. I know they don't have those anymore, but I would imagine they would have tried to recreate them
yeah.
so they could talk conveniently.
So, she will say, to get there, it is still relatively early. By midday, you'll be Fortitude. Another hour. By mid to late afternoon, you should be able to reach the forest. And if you're in the forest, they will be watching for you. And I imagine that, Lauren, you probably have people watching the Winterstone Temple area.
Sure.
And so you enter the wood due east of Fortitude, and our friends hidden will find you, and they will give you any intelligence they have.
Okay.
Fair enough? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, to what... Wes, did you figure out how you're going to get this information yet?
I have a plan.
All right. Let's hear your plan.
Ta is going to cast Hold Person on...
Hold it, mister.
Basically.
Good job.
And then is going to cast...
Steel clothing. No, oh, you've already got the outfit.
Is there any advantage to casting one additional? I don't need to cast additional, so I'm going to cast it as just a second level hold. Person, they have to do a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. I'm going to give him disadvantage because he has no idea. He has no idea. Well, he has no idea it's coming. He's distracted.
He's holding his person.
Right.
He too is holding his person.
Cute.
What's that?
He's
2d20 keep one. All right.
Is that like the space squirrel from the other?
Oh, yeah.
picture?
He's oblivious.
And then Ta is going to cast Zone of Truth.
Mm.
Ooh.
Man, that dude.
Charisma saving throw.
A whole person, does that mean he's paralyzed?
Now,
Oh.
check your concentration.
Yes, a hold person is concentration. Zone of Truth is not.
Nice. All right. All right. We're going to roll this. Uh-oh. 18 on the die. You make me look up. It's certainly not a negative modifier.
I would like to use my Tides of Chaos. Once... No, it's not that one. Bend Luck. When another creature you see makes an attack roll, an ability check, or saving throw, you can use your reaction and spend 2 sorcery points to roll a 1d4 and apply the number rolled as a bonus or penalty.
So you have to roll
A D4.
A D4.
And try to subtract it from the 18
Yeah,
in the hopes that it'll get it down.
Uh-huh.
below 16.
You can always go with the chaos stuff too.
That
Chaos, chaos, chaos.
no,
in this
that
situation?
gives me that's to gain advantage
Okay.
on a
So you're gonna roll a negative. What? Yeah. What? Your spell difficulty class is probably pretty good.
Yeah.
16. I rolled a 2, so 18 minus 2.
Meets it. Beats it.
Wow.
He says, "Why don't you know this? still, what? He's confuddled, but
Yeah. I imagine Rule of Cool that like his body is paralyzed, but he can still.
yeah.
And you
Top.
tried to make him tell you the truth, like what's the secret password or something?
Well,
What's going
no.
on?
Or what's
So,
the plan?
So okay, I mean,
Yeah.
this
So-
has happened. What do you do?
so Ta will walk up and say,
I'm new here.
no.
Oh.
You are in dragon cultist uniform.
Yeah, I'm,
Just walk-
Yeah, you cast the hold person spell behind him. You stand up and you start to relieve yourself next to him.
so Ta, I'm just trying to figure out the exact words how to say. So Ta will say, so you may not know me, but Symmetrix has asked Zas for me to come because she suspects there's a mole in the ranks. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions.
I like it. I like it.
Okay. Are
Figure out what I'm
you?
going to ask.
This is a deception check. All right. Go ahead and see how your deception check does.
I'm still pretending to be someone else, so
Yeah,
I get my
yeah.
advantage.
Yeah.
Unnatural 20.
All right. And he's kind of like he's a little dumbfounded.
Yeah.
He's confused.
Not if you understand.
He's can't nod.
Okay.
I imagine his eyeballs are kind of going back and forth, like,
Click your tongue once for yes.
or he goes, I can't nod. What have you done to me?
And my
It's only
bladder really
temporary.
hurts now.
If you pass, I'll let you go.
Okay. I can't nod.
See, you're already telling the truth.
Okay, I'm gonna need some crowdsourced help here on some questions.
We're gonna bring up the
Fate chart.
fate chart here because I don't know. We'll see what he knows.
Well, start with something like why are you here? Or what are you looking for?
What is your
What does she
No,
want?
so I
What
don't.
is-
I don't want to jump right in. I want to ask if you like.
Are you single?
Let's start
Um, you never like go straight for the thing you're looking
like your
for.
name and
Yeah,
why.
yeah.
What is your purpose here?
Well, I mean that's the purpose. They're all dragon, or red wizards.
Where are the
right?
places in the Death Star?
Yeah, you do know there's fractions within the dragon cultists, right? Between Zastam and Severin Salrine.
Yeah, so where does this person fall?
That's a good. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, DM.
Yep.
This is
I'd
stuff
look
you
it
know.
up.
Like
Yeah.
a,
Yeah.
like a
Zastam,
lie detector test. Start with these.
Necromancy Lich, and Rothmadar.
Well, no, Severin Salrine
or
is
Severin.
Severin. Let's call him Severin. That's easier to say.
Severin's not
Severin is bring back live dragons, and Severin is one kind of leading right now that popularity contest. But Symmetrix is strongly in the Zastam camp.
So how long have you been in town?
I've been here probably a month. Which is absolutely true for him.
Yeah. And in that time, have you found any clues to the Tome of... What are they, the Tome of Dragons?
Thome of Dragons. No, nothing. I don't understand why she's convinced it's here.
Where have you looked so far?
Where have you looked so far?
We've looked everywhere. Nothing's turned up.
Now you also saw Did he see the poster Dag found about the town's going to get leveled?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the reason you're in here.
Maybe
Yeah.
you want to ask about that about when.
Well, eventually.
Or you know, I guess you know how many days that's supposed to happen, right?
10 days.
Okay.
This same day.
I feel like I had a really good question earlier, and I
How
totally
how
escaped.
how will they destroy the town?
Well, that's the eventual question, but you don't want to just jump in like, "Hey, give me all the details for your dastardly plan to destroy the town." And
Yeah.
Yeah, don't open with that.
right.
So okay, so I don't know why she thinks it's here.
Have you?
We've looked everywhere.
Who do you think could be the
Is
spy?
she?
Well, it was, have any of the other wizards here? What was it going to say? Have you heard any of the other wizards praising? What was the other?
Severin.
Severin.
A lot of some cultists are more for live dragons than dead dragons.
Have you seen anybody sabotaging the effort to find the Tome of Dragons?
Some weird stuff has happened.
Weird stuff.
Well, the other day we had supplies gone missing, which you would know all about. So
That-
the stuff he
That's
stuff
what you
he
guys
just
are doing.
stuff he describes are stuffs that you've done.
Okay.
So you ask him.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, okay, yeah, that
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
Um,
How long does this zone of truth last?
I thought he failed the Zone of Truth or passed?
No, he did pass that just barely.
Yeah.
The whole person.
So you
Right, but this line of this
Yeah.
this was really, I mean, almost
Deception.
this yeah,
Convincingly
but I'm
done.
like, this borders on inspiration territory. I mean, that was a nice save as far as
yeah, with your deception going.
yeah.
Yeah. Hold person lasts a minute.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, we should probably get going. You've probably seen the flyers for the next phase of the mission here.
Yeah, I put some up. I hope we're not in town when this comes.
What comes?
But yeah, I don't know, cause how do you ask the question without?
Well, right. I think he
Giving
just
away.
gave you the opening there.
Yeah.
When what comes?
He said, "I don't want to be here when this comes." Well, what's the this?
You only got a minute. You could.
Yeah, well, I know, but yeah, I'm thinking like, is that the best way of asking? I don't know. Yeah, okay, sure, why not?
When what?
I don't have anything better. When what comes?
The worm that Grundlesmorch is sending. I don't want to be anywhere within a mile of this place.
And is that what the rest of the wizards feel as well?
Everyone feels this way.
And if,
How long does a whole person last?
well, as I said, a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if Zastam orders you,
I have ants.
yeah,
I was
that
gonna say,
time
I
of year.
just walking around, killed 5 or 6.
Yikes!
That time of year.
It's
a lot.
yeah. Tarot gets rid of it really good.
I've never had ants before. That's the third one I've killed today.
I just did 5 or 6 just in the last
Really?
minutes. Yeah.
Tal would say, and if Zastam orders you to hold position, what will you do?
Well, it would. This confuses him. Zastam's not here.
Well, it's, I guess Zastam and Symmetrix, right?
Yeah. So you wouldn't say Zastam. You would say Symmetrix.
Oh, so, okay.
Symmetrix is the
Symmetrix,
clearly
yeah,
the person in control
Yeah.
here. So, he's the boss.
Is there anything else that you guys want to know before we?
The secret password. I mean, are you gonna?
So, depending how good you think your deception skills are, could you try to plant the seeds that Symmetrix is just trying to waste everyone's time to keep Tiamat from rising?
Oh, that's an interesting.
Since he said he doesn't think what they're looking for is there.
So were you gonna try to replace this guy, or you're just getting for information?
Just getting information.
Okay. Okay.
And then I don't really want to go up against Symmetrix. We've already established he's a very, very high level wizard, and
Right.
you know.
And what did you said? So who sent the leader guy sent you? Who did you say sent you?
Yeah, like basically Zastam. So like basically saying like you don't know me because Symmetrix
Yeah.
asked.
So you might want to just
Yeah.
when you wrap it up, just be like, "What's her face? Doesn't need to know I was here."
Yeah, that's a good call too. Yeah.
Well, before you can do that, he hauls off and punches you in the face. Or he's going to attempt to.
Looks like
Bang!
a pretty good shot at it.
A deck save to dodge.
No deck save, no dodge. And he's going to do 1 point of damage.
Well, his muscles still a little stiff from that whole.
And then he pushes you in the chest.
Well,
And he goes, he's gathered himself about him. And he says, "Don't you ever do that to me again." Now,
Should I cast Hold Person again? I think I'm gonna cast Hold Person again.
Or you could change yourself to look just like him, just to freak him out.
so
No.
it's just he didn't take kindly to being put on the hold person
Right.
spell, and that's all that was. All right, he doesn't not believe who you are. He just found it very and he's like this, and you hold person.
Don't mess with people that you don't understand.
And pull your pants up.
And pull your pants up. Some decorum, please.
You're a red wizard after all.
Move
Right.
again.
Oh, did you say you cast it again?
Yeah, I
Oh,
cast it
you
again.
did. Oh, well then he can't pull his pants up.
Right, exactly. There's some decorum here.
And you're kind of rubbing. I mean, he's
Yeah,
just a
it's
normal
like-
cultist
right.
with no special abilities.
Right. Say, I trust that you'll keep an eye on things and report any.
Well, I'm gonna give her a report.
I was never here, and if you tell anybody, Zastam will personally put a bounty on your head.
All right, another deception check. You're gonna name drop a name like that.
26.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I trust that you will keep an eye on the other wizards here and report anybody who is trying to undermine our cause.
You're gonna leave me like this, because if the next guy comes out and they see me like that, there's gonna be questions.
You'll be fine. And Todd turns around and walks off.
It's only a minute.
Yeah.
Right, and
Yeah.
when he's out of sight, we'll
Yeah.
let the spell.
And you go into the
Push him forward so he falls into his own pee.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. So now you know. You at least know that it's a purple worm. You don't know
Grundle
how it's
smirch.
getting there, where it's coming from, how they're controlling it.
Nope.
Well, it's all right. That's enough for now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You get that. You communicate back to Lidnura, however you do it. So a couple days pass.
So Ta would, before leaving, would scope the town out a little bit. Because, like,
Yeah.
could cast Playboy.
So at this point, I've cleared out the town, but we are just posted those signs, and so the occupation. There's still people here. There's still people going out. A large percentage, most of the population has already been removed, and the ones that didn't flee immediately were removed to the quarry, and so now with the houses empty, it's even easier. You probably see orcs and wizards and dragon cultists going through houses, overturning everything, so that's what you see. All right, the track bar is in free form. People are just handing out drinks left and right.
Ta would grab a drink on the way through, would go out the back door. Like, go in the front, grab a drink, walk out the back door.
Yeah.
Ta would be pretending like
Yeah.
he belonged.
All right.
Not trying to, like, sneak around or
Yeah.
be just...
So outside of the track bar, things are pretty orderly. People are doing tasks. Inside the track bar, it's chaos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, it's good. Anybody in the track bar that seems like they would know something?
So, no, because the important people don't partake in chaos as much. Right? These are more worker bees blowing off steam. And it's, it might have been rowdy before. It's even more rowdy now. And this is the first day after the humans left, and without anyone controlling the flow of ale and stuff, it's plentiful. Tomorrow, it may not be so plentiful, and people won't be as happy.
Right.
But right now, it's early and it's plentiful.
Fair. Okay.
Trackmar didn't take it with him, huh?
I don't think he had much choice in
Let
it.
him load it up and take it.
Something you might glean, though, is that they've separated the men and the women and children.
Of the
In the...
Oh, so the people that didn't... Wait, you said the people that didn't leave have already been locked up?
So the families have been separated, kind of a ransom type of thing, right? Because they won't want to flee if they don't know what's going to happen to their family.
So are you more so saying that there's still men in the town working and all the women and
No.
children have been taken
Everyone's
off, or
been taken.
Everybody has been
Everyone's
taken,
been taken, but they've been separated.
been separated. Okay.
Okay, I'm confused.
So they,
Put a sign saying you've got 10 days to leave and then they arrested everybody?
They arrested who was left.
anyone that didn't flee was taken to the
Originally.
quarry.
So the 10 days are up?
No. They posted the sign. The next morning, whoever was still there, they rounded up
Okay.
and they took them to the quarry. And they separated them between broken up families.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what you know.
Okay. Would just walk around, not staying
Yeah.
too long, but enough to get the lay of the town. And hit
So you
all
said
the...
they're searching even more vigorously now. You said.
Yeah, they're
trying to,
pulling stuff out of houses. Yeah.
tearing up floors.
I was trying to remember, Trackmar is actually a half orc, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
And his wife is, she was a
Barbarian.
or half.
Goliath barbarian.
Goliath barbarian. Yep.
Their
Goliath.
baby is a half orc.
Yeah, half orc, half
So their kid's a quarter orc,
quarter orc Goliath. Human.
Okay.
A snouty Goliath.
but being a half orc, it wasn't enough to get him.
Well, he had some special preferential treatment because his cousin was part of the occupying force. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
But he was also given the option to join, and he turned it down.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
So there is a little bit there, but yet
So either they took off or
no. I'm thinking they're all part of the because
Crowd.
you also have a 1-year-old to be contending with.
Yeah, that's what. Anyway.
And I was trying to remember what we named her because somehow I thought it was a girl.
I think so.
I thought yeah.
I couldn't find the name you gave her, the baby, the child.
Oh, did I name her?
Yeah, I asked.
gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And however, one way or another, we communicated. It was communicated. My text messages, I don't think go back that far. I don't know if it was group text, old group text,
think it
or
Well, that's. I'm trying to remember if it was in our adventure or was it when you had these guys going there?
No,
Or when I wasn't in the group.
no, it was recent because she was pregnant
Yeah.
before you went to Barovia,
Mm-hmm.
and you had a 1-year-old when you came back.
Okay.
Anyway, so I imagine Helga, whatever her name is, and the daughter are separated from Trakmar, and the cousin can't do anything about it. He has orders.
Yeah.
He does whatever he can to make sure you're safe. This probably was one of those things. He probably encouraged giving people a chance to flee, and then putting them somewhere else, because orcs would give a rat's rip if they were just eaten by and it's probably partly intimidation of, we can stave off this invasion if you tell us where the Thome of Dragons is. No? Fine. Probably with Shaderock, the leader of the town, the mayor, and his family have been separated, and every day they're saying, you can save your town if you just tell us where this tome is. And most of them, they just don't know. So now you know. And so are we ready to fast forward a few days?
So
How long before he comes back to tell?
Same day.
The same day.
All right.
Couple hours,
So you've
And then-
told us that this worm thing's coming.
Yep.
Oh my lord.
and then what's the timing of us showing up?
Right.
Well-
that's what we're working out.
Yeah, well, we're coming to that. So you spent half a day in Fortitude wandering around gathering intel. You come back, you tell Lauren and Zurok, Dag, for that matter.
Right.
Zurok messages Lidnura, who messages the Harpers in Waterdeep.
We just left for you to meet up with you, right?
Well, that hasn't happened.
Why not?
Well, fast forward a day or two, right? And now, so this was day 10. Probably day 8 is when you guys show up.
Okay.
So you have a little lead time.
We would probably ask, through Lidnura about was the person with so and so is sending a worm. What was the name?
Grundlesmirch.
Grundlesmirch would ask about if there's any intel.
Yeah, so
Who
he
this-
he is he's a general with the Orcan army.
He's the
Yeah.
general.
He is the figurehead main orc dude of the orc army.
Okay.
And Orcan kind, green kind. Okay.
Knock knock.
Yeah.
They-
I guess I'm thinking
So
like bigger
this-
picture. Yeah, getting to like, okay, how are we actually going to take on this worm? Are we just
Yeah.
gonna?
Yeah, no, this is exactly what you should be talking about.
Yeah,
So,
right. Or are
but
we-
you've communicated this information with the Harpers now. Are we ready to fast forward the 2 days? Or is there something else you want to do in these 2 days?
Is there any other like intel? What are we thinking here? I guess you're not.
I think I'm sure Lauren and Zurwak are scratching their heads as to, all right, how do you fight a giant worm? And one that, they wouldn't have. Well, no, we don't. They have that information.
Yeah,
So we're sitting there scratching our heads, going,
I barely even could conceive of how a worm would do this.
right.
Of course, Zurok would have an idea. Zurok would certainly have
some
some knowledge.
but maybe not to the level of detail that they're bringing.
Right.
So
I mean, he's a dragonologist. He's not a wormologist.
Right.
They're all big, ugly monsters.
Some are considered worms.
It's true.
So the question is, can we fast forward the 2 days?
yeah, let's get these guys in.
All right. The 2 days pass. Maybe some sorties have been run into town, but 2 days have passed, and you get Zurok. You get a message from Lidnura that a couple able-bodied people, a turtle and a human, are on their way, and they're coming to help you out. They've been sent by the Harpers. All right. So it's that day 8, midday, mid-afternoon. My throat's really dry here all of a sudden. And they're hanging out in the woods. Someone spots them.
Okay.
Let's see.
I'm just
You may want to.
debating if I should keep the orc
You should probably
disguise
change.
up or if I should.
So Lorne,
We know we're close
Yeah.
to where they are.
Yeah.
You should probably.
you've established a hideout, a kind of a camouflaged hut in the trees, and you see these guys approaching.
Okay.
Zurok's communicated with you that help is coming,
Okay.
but it's an orc and a turtle. It's not a human and a turtle.
Well, that's what we were just talking
Yeah,
about.
we
is
were
when
just
I
talking about
changed
that.
back.
Oh,
So
change
when we
bef-
get
as
close,
we
when
get-
we know we're close, I would suggest to him that maybe it's okay to change back. Just keep your hood up and conceal your face.
Yeah. Okay.
We're in the woods now.
Yeah. No, it's just a matter of if that would help us
Get past
get
any
in
orc
get into
road.
town.
Yeah. Yeah, but they
But-
told you we were in the woods, so you probably wouldn't be gunning
Yeah.
all the way into
Well,
town either.
right, and yeah. Okay.
All right, so Lorne's in his duck blind, as it were, hunter's blind, and so I see a turtle and a person approaching. So I'm like, well, turtles are kind of rare. They said a turtle was coming, so I'll look around, make sure, like, before I step out of cover, that they're not, like, that I'm not aware of anything else, like a passing orc.
Yeah, I mean they're within voice distance.
Right.
What do you do?
What do I do? Let's see here.
Turns out they're hidden very well. Like, we haven't been able to find them for half an hour.
So I'm going to trust the situation.
Is perception considered an intuition or wisdom check? Or is it a separate thing?
It's insight. Intuition is insight.
Speaking of which,
Okay. I've got these advantages in my favorite territories, but it mentions intuition or wisdom checks, so I thought
okay.
that would give me any better perception to notice
my
him.
perception is 15. If my passive.
Mine's 18.
So,
But this is well hidden. It's been there for a while.
Yeah. Okay. And we're not trying to sneak around or anything.
Right. So from the blind. I'm assuming they're not super far away, so I'm not going to yell. Are you the ones they sent?
Are you a god?
Yeah. Yes.
I always say yes.
So I guess I might have like. We've been sent by what was it?
Well, you now know where the voice is coming from.
Yeah,
Lidnora.
Yeah, but
Yes.
I'm not stepping out
We
just yet.
we come in the name of Lenora.
Lenora or Lidnor?
Whichever's the right one.
Right.
And we seek. Did she give us their names or just
No, she
just said the temple?
a group of in this temple. Unless she did, and we didn't get that.
Come in the name of the Lord, seeking her allies in the temple of blah blah blah.
In the aid of Fortitude.
Yeah.
All right. So, based on that, so let's see here.
He knows at least half the words. He's got to be trustworthy, right?
Well,
Lord, are they here yet?
I was going to roll.
Where's my shell?
Roll a perception check to see if.
We
I've
haven't
got
seen
my
new
hand-
people in a long
I
time.
got my hand like on one of my hand axes, but it's just like
Yeah, you guys are getting robbed blind.
All right. So I'm going to say that. So, Mr. DM. So, we're going to say that my blind is like adjacent to how we would get into the temple. So I'll tell them.
Whenever I think of Hogan's Heroes, the tree stump. Yeah,
Right,
that's what I think of.
Well, I'm going to say it's adjacent to that or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, no. Let's say it is over it, because if I come out of the Winterstone Temple, I don't want to be exposed immediately, right? I like it.
It's somewhere underneath. Shh, I've never seen a poodle.
So Lauren will step out.
Yeah.
Because again, we can't, fit everybody in my blind all at once. It would be too obvious. I'll be like, "Hail and well met. If you're here to help, you're welcome. Follow me, and I'll lead you to the rest." And so I'll show them how to get into the
The stump flips up, and there's a stair. There's a ladder climbing down.
We make our way into the Winterstone Temple.
well, but Darcel's going to pause for a minute to take a look at your duck blind and just be like, "That's very well done, my friend."
Well, you have rangers that you've socialized
Yeah,
with.
but I mean,
Yeah.
he
That's
is
cool.
one of the woods, and he's into camouflage, and the fact that he didn't see it is just like,
Yeah. Magically, it might be some magical enhancement there.
that's
But Strider was a pretty good
Well
ranger.
done.
Strider was a pretty good
Druid.
ranger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Zened was a ranger.
Yeah.
So we have other capable people.
Yes.
Maybe not level 13 capable, but capable people.
I have good folks around me, so. But I appreciate the respect. It is appreciated. Follow me.
As you're in your full plate.
oh, well,
Clank down the hole.
clang, clang, clang. Yeah.
My.
All right. So now you're in the Winterstone
Get out of the
Temple.
way.
How was he the turtle?
And lean over to Darcel. How do we not hear him breathing?
He was obviously holding very still.
All right. You make your way down in here.
I think I didn't know he was there.
You have to carry your Boris.
Oh God, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
The tiger doesn't eat him.
He's just waddling along behind us this whole time, I guess.
Okay, Boris is what?
A boar.
A boar.
Ooh, Boris the boar.
Yeah. Some,
And as you come in, you hear.
Yeah. We're gonna have
some
to
nice food for
see how
Mr.
they get along.
Fuzzy Boots. You brought dinner.
No,
So nice.
Boris
of you.
is friend, not food.
How about friend then food?
If they tell me they got a
Is that
pet
too early?
tiger, if they find out they got a pet tiger, Boris might have to stay outside.
Well, they put the tiger away. And all right, conversation. We have 10 minutes here. 5 minutes. Any conversation you want to have? Sure.
would share what we know.
Yeah, so you share the information you know about the worms, which is just basic monster manual stuff. It's not.
The front end will eat you, will swallow you whole, and the back end will sting you and poison you.
Oh, and leave a hole like this.
Yeah, you don't want none of neither.
And it senses noise and motion? How do we fight such a thing?
Kill it with
I've
fire.
got an interesting idea on that.
I have an idea too.
And it comes from underground.
I mean, from
So-
it's a feeling, right? Deafness is, I don't know, it's hearing.
Well, it said sound. They said it senses sound, so
Well,
take away one of its senses, that's a step in the right direction.
so if she's planning to use them to level the town, then presumably if we
Take away.
set up around buildings, sooner or later they're going to come for the buildings.
Right.
I don't know how else
How,
you're
how
going
do
to predict
they
where they're
control
going to
them?
show up.
How do they control them? Maybe we
Right.
control the controller.
Yeah,
That was one thought I had.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Somebody's going to come with an amulet parading them in the middle of town. Maybe. I kind of expect they'll show up from underground. You know, predictable target is the buildings.
Yeah, but we
There's
underground is
nothing saying they have to
sublevel
even
territory.
Yeah.
be above ground. They could just attack everything from underground.
Right. Cave it all
Yeah,
in.
that's a good point. You might not even.
Can
Some-
I give Katota any indication of how many would be there?
How many worms? People?
Worms.
What?
Right now, Kotota didn't glean that there'd be any more than one worm.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're
I think we try to trap it.
Trap the giant worm?
Yeah.
Well, how you
How
gonna
big
do
is
that?
it?
Gargantuan?
How big are these worms?
100 feet.
Big enough to knock down a building?
And swallow a horse whole?
Yeah, that might be too big.
Gargantuan? How big is gargantuan?
that's
That
as big as they
Gargantuan
come.
is basically as big as I want it to be.
All right, maybe trapping it's not going to work.
It's like
Big
18
Could
and
you
older.
entangle it, Mr. Ranger, sir?
Oh, if I had such a thing.
I don't suppose it's not a native being to this plane of existence.
I have a trick with ensnaring, but
It
it's
is a native being to this plane of existence.
We could just banish it over and over again.
but it can bust out of it with a saving throw, with a strength save, which I'm sure this thing is. So the tricks I have would be more in the realm of trying to hurt it.
We're all for hurting it.
I would like to do a series of
Did
things
you say
before we get into
hurt
battle.
or hurt?
Oh yeah.
So just
Hurt.
I mean,
Teeth.
you are
Hurting it.
late afternoon of day 8. You have 7 days left to prepare. At least, if the sign is true.
So maybe we think about what information we need to collect.
do we wait for the worm?
Do we wait for the worm?
I mean,
Or what?
the worm.
Gonna go
Do we
tell
take out
what's her face
Symmetrix
that
now?
we.
Do we go after Symmetrix now? And the army now?
Or at least
Oh.
some of the red wizards.
Or do we wait for the worm to get here? And then
Oh.
we have to fight the worm and the
Oh,
wizards
okay.
and the...
That's a
It
good
works.
point.
Yeah.
I do have this spell I've been dying to try out that makes you play dead. Where is it? Not
You,
animate
that,
dead.
you
Feign death.
on your. You mean you plays it on yourself or somebody else?
Either.
So you go zap into all appearances to everybody. Anyone
The
who tries
spell's
to
duration
examine
or
them.
until you use an action to touch the target and dismiss the spell, so ideally it's not yourself. The target appears to be dead to all outward inspection and to spells used to determine the target's status.
Oh, okay.
Throw him on the funeral pyre.
There you go.
Appears to be dead,
Appears to be dead. For all
but is
instance.
still conscious.
The target is blinded and incapacitated.
Oh, okay.
Speed is 0. But you have resistance to all damage except psychic. So, yeah.
Well, that might be useful on Head Witch Lady.
Right.
Oh,
To get
you
to her.
touch a willing creature.
Oh. Oh, it's willing. Okay. Yeah,
I
mind.
think she's not going to be willing.
No.
Yeah,
No,
head
this is-
wizard lady is quite powerful.
Right.
Okay.
No,
Yeah, we
this
know
is
that.
like we use it to spring a trap.
This is like get help.
Right.
We're not
My
do-
friend the turtle is dead.
Exactly.
Look, he's
We're not
upside down.
doing that. We're not doing.
You know.
So, we have all week. Chatter, talk, come up with ideas, send texts. I love that. Ask me questions if you want to ask me questions.
All right.
You do have in those 7 days we do this type of thing. If you want to do a preemptive, we can talk about that. But I mean there'll be consequences, right? If a throng of orcs suddenly die in a fireball, that's going to raise eyebrows.
Right.
What if a throng of red wizards die in a fireball?
I think that'll still raise an eyebrow.
But you make a fair point. If we wait until Worm Day, then we're going to be fighting the worms and them.
Yeah.
Assuming they haven't left town
Right.
to get away from it.
I mean,
Right,
maybe
which
the
a lot
orcs
of-
will clear out a little bit, but we'd still.
But
have-
what? But if the worm is under their control, then why? That
Could we
They
try
can-
to capture one of the red wizards and interrogate?
Yeah.
We certainly could.
There's also the rescue.
If it's the same dude, he's going to be really annoyed.
So,
There's also rescue the.
there's one person you should know about.
Try to rescue the people in the
barn.
concentration camp.
So there is an administrator that I put in this group of people. There's two people you would consider. This Adelaide Chaucer is an administrator that she would be the person that would issue the papers. Right? So she would know the organization of everything coming in, going out, the people, the legit, any type of inventory. She would have it. That's one person. And then there is the right-hand lady of Symmetrix.
I like the sound of that.
Her name is Anguish. Or at least that's what she calls her. Anguish.
Okay, so more likely to know more than one of the
Underlings.
grunts, but also more likely to be loyal and not want to spill the beans.
Right.
But then again, if you've got your potion of truth serum,
Zone of truth.
Zone of
Yeah.
truth.
Looks like she's a tiefling.
Okay.
And then I guess maybe a third option is the lead orc dude of Fortitude. Grog. Should write that down.
yeah, because he is.
He is the or Trackmar's half cousin. But I don't know how much Trackmar's half cousin is a known sympathizer for humans. So I don't know how much they would trust him.
Yeah. How many people are in the
Many.
story?
I haven't counted them.
Okay.
More than 20, less than 100.
Yes. I don't know if Fortitude had 100 people to begin
50.
with. Yeah.
Yeah,
20-ish.
How many of them didn't leave?
20 to 50 probably
And
seems like a
women and
reason.
children.
All right. This plus 20. Only 22 people left.
Left?
People
people.
in the quarry.
Remain. Okay.
People that really think they're safe and think that things will blow over and they'll be able to go back to Fortitude.
Okay. And they've only herded them there, like, yesterday or today. Well, no, yeah, they've been there for like a day.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
if we wanted to go spy, we'd have some idea.
They've been there for like a day. Who's they?
The
Where?
people in the quarry.
They've been there since day
You said
8.
they put up the
day
signs.
10. That day they moved them there, so
Yeah.
day or two. Yeah.
Too, yeah. So if we went and spy, we could get some idea how they're being treated,
Mm-hmm.
if that matters to us. Yeah. So next week's normal, but then the week after that, 25th, I'm out of town,
Yeah. So
and you're getting ready for a wedding.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll keep that in mind. And then the week after that, Noel's gone.
I'll probably
First.
not be available on the first either.
Okay, so we might take a couple weeks off there, or we'll do something different. Maybe
The
We'll
week
see.
after I'm gone. The week after the first.
You're gone for
Oh.
2 weeks.
I'm gone the 5th through the 9th.
I
Oh,
don't.
so he would be.
8th.
So Noel's around on
Yeah,
the
I'm-
on the 1st,
Right, but I'm gone on the.
right?
8th.
But if you're around on the 1st,
Yes.
so we might be talless on the 1st, but we could maybe make headway.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've typically, and again, it could be different this time,
Yeah.
but we've typically managed to move forward with one out.
Right.
One out
Yeah.
is manageable.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we don't have the big battle on one of those.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping there. We're gonna start the big battle next week, probably.
Okay.
No, I intend to. Right. Yeah, it depends how much more planning you want to do, but
Well, I'm thinking we try to kidnap, and that might be a week.
yeah. So yeah, if you have things you want to do before then, if we say okay, day of, let's game on, let's battle. If you want to be more strategic and do other things, cool. That sounds like fun too. Let's do it.
All right.
So this will take as long or as short.
Would Malila, would she have known who is commanding the worms?
All she knows is what Kotota through Zurok
Well, correct.
and the Nura told her. That
Yeah, I got it.
intelligence says worms are coming to destroy Fortitude.
The intelligence was.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I don't know. My strong feeling is we get rid of Symmetrix now.
So do we want to try to kidnap somebody to get more intelligence, or just storm the castle?
Well, I mean, what's the intelligence going to get us tactically that we could use to advantage?
Who's controlling, or what's a weak point, or what's the actual plan? Yeah, I guess I don't.
How does someone actually control a purple worm?
You point. That's about all the control you
Well,
get, probably.
okay, but if we just tried to storm the castle and made sure at least one of those two was kept alive, maybe then you truth them and we could find out.
Yeah, true.
So we just go try to ambush the place
Say
at
we go
night,
we
or
keep Anguish alive. Because Symmetrix, yeah, we don't want her around.
What level is
If
Symmetrix?
she,
A lot.
I don't know if Dave wants to say, but she's a lot. Remember, she went up against all of us, and she had
She
no
used
problem.
time stop on all of us. That means
Yeah.
she's got to be like very, very high level.
Yeah. Yeah, she's very much boss level.
Emphasis on very.
And she's not alone.
yeah,
Yeah, and she's not alone.
got a bunch of henchmen.
You can pretty much guarantee Anguish is at least our level.
Or higher.
Although if she was much higher, she might not want to be her assistant. She might want to be her equal. That's still my theory. And
So one last time on the I was pretty happy with this.
Imaginations presents Purple Worms Ascending.
Yeah.
Purple worm's a goblin.
Okay. So that's where we'll end tonight. And I'll stop the streaming right